I was just thinking about how to open the show today, and I was thinking that for many people, on an inauguration weekend, that is the center of the news. Obviously, a new president is now in office, even though he has been president before. That would normally be the focus of our country, except you had TikTok over the weekend also. So I'm not sure which one got more focus.
You know what? I'm gonna call it a split. From my algorithm and what I was seeing on social media, TikTok very much came out ahead, and then the inauguration meme started following.
my algorithm was TikTok all the way through.
Me too.
I think it just kind of depends on the day. Like yesterday, I saw a lot of MLK posts, a lot of inauguration posts, but that Saturday night when we were all wondering when TikTok was going to get shut down, you couldn't get on Reels or TikTok without someone saying their goodbyes to their For You page.
So here's the congressman. Some 19-year-old was so upset over the weekend about TikTok that he went to go set the congressman's office on fire just because
we
it's
got a call
TikTok.
early this morning. Apparently last night around 1 o'clock, some 19-year-olds from Menasha came down and decided to try to set our office on fire. They didn't get in the office, but nevertheless, there was a lot of smoke in the office, which is obviously going to result in a lot of damage. A lot of the siding, an air conditioner look like they're quite damaged. But I suppose in today's world, things just keep getting worse. And rather than just call my office and saying, let's open up TikTok, he decided to try to burn it down.
That's extreme.
A little bit.
That's extreme. There were a lot of 911 calls. Also,
There were a lot of people upset about. They were very upset that TikTok had been taken down.
I saw online funerals.
Online funerals were a lot. Yeah,
that was the thing. By the time you started to see all of the goodbye TikTok videos, TikTok was back.
It's just a bizarre weekend, man.
We can talk about the conspiracy theory?
Yeah, I think we'll get more into it later on today.
Okay.
All right,
please, because I feel like if anybody's going to be mad, they need to be mad at TikTok.
Yeah, maybe so. There's a lot of theories out there. All right, this week is a big week for the Bert Show because we are doing our improv show with Dad's Garage on Thursday. Things sold out in 2 days. We told you guys this is a fundraiser for Bert's Big Adventure. None of us in here are seasoned improv vets, except we do this every single day, but it's very different when you're on stage.
Yeah, we're sitting on our butts with a mic in front of our face. Very different than being on stage and acting things out.
So the drama really might be the drama between Rebecca and Mikey and the stand-up comedy that Rebecca is going to have to do as Mikey's writing the stand-up for her. And she's never done stand-up before, right?
No. Never done stand-up. And definitely not with a speech impediment, too. So that'll be interesting. I was like, should I do a country accent and pretend to be Mikey? But I was like, people aren't going to know if it's my speech impediment or if I have an accent.
And this is all because you lost a game of ping pong.
I very valiantly lost 2 games of ping pong where Mikey kind of crushed me. I did feel like I failed all women of America, and I'm sorry for that. But yeah, it was 2 games that he had challenged me to, and that was what was at stake. The improv night opening stand-up.
So have you been writing it? Because that was part of the deal, is that Mikey's going to write it, and then Rebecca will see it beforehand, but she's going to have to deliver his lines.
Yeah, I've been writing it. This has proven to be a lot harder than I thought. And I've realized, if Rebecca goes up there and bombs, I'm really bombing too. So, yeah, it's actually proven to be pretty tough.
See, I would take probably the different angle on it, that if I was writing it, I would want her to bomb.
Yeah.
That would be the fun for me.
Or you could just blame her delivery. It's not your writing.
Yeah.
It's the way she
Oh,
delivered.
my bad. Also, I have questions too. How is there families going to this? How hard can we go?
I think it's a 21 and over type deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
How hard you plan on going?
So I can make her say some stuff then.
I mean, there might be some Bert's Big Adventure families there, but the kids won't be there. And I know the Bert's Big Adventure staff is going to be there because it benefits BBA.
It's all quote unquote adults.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get her to say whatever I want. Then.
I'm just. I don't want to disclose any of the jokes because I want to save it for Thursday night. But where are you drawing your inspiration?
The clouds. It's not. It's
You haven't even started yet.
It's rough. I've started. 3 minutes is so long when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, and I think I need to give her more than what she needs. Or maybe just give her a minute and a half and see what happens.
Here, I'll stretch it out.
Yeah.
Can you give him any advice? I mean, this is what you do as a side gig here, is your stand-up comedy. So, or maybe we're the side gig. I'm not really sure. So can you give him any advice?
No. Absolutely not.
Come on, please.
No, that's the whole point of this. I want to see what y'all are able to put together without any advice from me at all. Advice. How can you give advice in this situation? I would say just focus on the punchlines, Mikey.
Okay.
If you make the joke worth it in the end, then the in-between is not as important as you think it is.
Well, I think I might only have punchlines. I don't know if there's any in-betweens anywhere. I think it's just punchline.
You just got 3 minutes of punchlines?
Yeah, but
this is going to be great.
They're non sequitur.
You can Google it. I mean, there are plenty of articles on how to write a joke and how to write a perfect set. So,
Or maybe Chat GPT can do it for you.
But like, how do you write a bad joke that makes me look good and makes Rebecca look bad? That's the line I'm toting.
So I did have to do 15 minutes of stand-up comedy once for a charity event. This was a few years back. And I thought they were going to write it and I was going to deliver it. And that was not the case. So I had a lot of help from my husband and other friends. But the one thing I noticed was it's any snarky observation you make around the world around you. Like mine was all snark. It was very blue. That can become content for, and this is from a non-professional comedian, okay? So I've professional comedy probably a lot different, but for the sake of 3 minutes, if you're driving, like I made jokes about hitting bikes that get into the car lane. Like it's just look around you, find the things you snark about and try and make that into a joke or roast Rebecca's parents, who I'm pretty sure are going to be in the audience. Yeah.
Oh, wait, Rebecca's parents are going to be there?
They will be.
You gotta make a joke about that.
I wish I didn't even know that. Now I feel bad about some of the stuff I've written, but I'm not erasing it.
it's preschool, which when you think of the word itself, preschool, it's not even school yet. How do you get expelled? It's preschool.
Well, thankfully, my son didn't because my husband intervened. But yeah, I very likely could have gotten my child expelled from preschool had my husband not swooped in and saved the day.
Are there any rules even in preschool?
I mean, there's, I don't know.
Show up, take a crayon, go home.
To take a
It would make him popular, though.
right?
Yeah, he'd be the man.
All right. What happened was every Sunday I lay out all of Jimmy's clothes for school, right? Even though you can't tell by looking at me, know a little bit more about fashion than my husband does. Some of the outfits he puts together are questionable at best. So I will lay out all of Jimmy's clothes. I make sure he has something cozy for Mondays because he has Shining Hearts where he does yoga and meditation. I make sure whatever he wears on Thursday, he can get paint on because he has art class. Like this is like mental load stuff, right? So I got him all laid out. And so all of his clothes are laid out. And I'm like, oh, he's going to be looking cute. He's going to be looking fly. It's still about the drip even when you're in preschool, okay? So I go to pick Jimmy up from school because my husband takes him because of my hours. And I fortunately can pick him up afterwards. And I'm looking at his outfit and I'm like, that is not the outfit that I chose for him. Right?
The drip was not dripping.
No, it wasn't. He was wearing like a camo shirt, but it totally like he was like wearing gray sweatpants. I don't know, man. It wasn't giving. So I get him home. And I forgot about it because, mom brain, you're doing other things. And then it's right before we're going to bed. And Jimmy's watching his fish. And Bart comes in. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, what happened to his AC/DC shirt that he was supposed to wear today? So I had this really cool AC/DC concert sweatshirt that he was going to wear to school. It's actually a hand-me-down from a friend. And Bart looks at me incredulously. He couldn't wear that to school. And I'm like, why not? He goes, it has devil horns on it. Now, mind you, my son goes to a religious preschool, okay? It's actually at a church. So this is a church that has a preschool. And I don't know how they'd feel about devil horns. But yeah, so on the front of it, you have the band AC/DC, and one of the guys has devil horns. Now, I did not know this. I just saw the AC. You know what? I didn't see the devil horns. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. And he goes, Kristen. And so now I am arguing with him thinking, it's AC, it's a classic rock shirt.
Right.
But then he turns it around And he goes, Kristen, it says highway to hell on the back of it.
The man has a good point.
I mean, it's just a warning.
Yeah.
And so when he said the highway to hell part, I was like, oh, yeah, that probably wouldn't have been bad
He's got a
for the
good point.
Methodist preschool. All right, fine. I'll be a little more discerning when I'm picking out his clothing.
When I was watching the inauguration yesterday, I found myself listening less to the words and being more of a spectator on everything that was going on in the crowd and the people behind the president. I was like, is that Dana White right behind the president right there? The dude from the UFC? Right behind the president.
It was
man.
him?
It was him, man. I also noted, I'm sure everybody noticed Lauren Sanchez.
Oh, yeah. She became a fascinating meme thanks to Zuck.
Yeah, Zuckerberg definitely noticed.
Yeah, right. I am really curious how he's going to talk about that today. I'm sure they're going to say, oh, I was looking down and they just caught me and it looks like I'm looking at her boobs, but I really wasn't. It's so funny because DC is such a conservative place, right? And, you're supposed to dress a certain way when you're at an inauguration or a White House.
You mean a white bra isn't what you're supposed to wear to an inauguration?
Man, she looked like an OnlyFans model. What else did I notice there? That his son is so dang tall. Do you notice it?
Barron?
Barron is 6'7".
Oh, wow.
Is he really?
I want that dude on my basketball team.
Absolutely.
What else did you guys notice about the inauguration yesterday?
So I missed the beginning of it, and I haven't seen video of it, but I was watching stuff trend as the inauguration played out. And I don't know if this has happened before or not, but apparently all the past presidents got booed when they walked into the rotunda.
I didn't hear that at all.
I didn't hear that. No.
I did not hear that.
Yeah. So but again, I didn't see it. I just saw it's like just a flood of comments that Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George Bush all got booed when they walked into the rotunda.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't see it live, so maybe, I don't know if they...
I was watching it live and I didn't hear that at all.
And then I was fascinated by Melania's hat. I felt like
she was kind of giving Hamburglar.
A lot of people are making that comparison. It was a great hat to hide your facial expressions. You know what I mean? If you wanted to roll out, your eyes a couple of times, which she's gotten busted for before. I did find it, like you said, fascinating to watch the spectators because they moved it inside. Normally, when the incoming president is talking, the camera is just on him and you only see him. But this was everybody is so close that it was very easy to watch everybody's facial expressions as he was making certain commentary.
Of course, there was the stress of Carrie Underwood. You could see what was going on there, right?
Yeah, I mean, she killed it despite having to sing it completely a cappella. And a slightly more wholesome meme that I've seen going around as opposed to the Zuck one where he's been looking at Lauren Sanchez's chest. But as Carrie Underwood is singing, Joe Biden's right behind her. And I gotta be honest, it kind of looked like he developed a little crush as he was standing behind her. Like he had googly eyes watching her sing, and
you think he was thinking, when I was a younger man,
what up, back in the day,
she wouldn't have a chance.
To be fair, I've seen photos of young Joe Biden, and he could have gotten it.
Yeah. He was a stud.
He was a stud. Now he's a corpse, but back in the day, he could have gotten it.
Yeah, as far as the words and stuff goes, I was watching Saturday Night Live this week, or at least the monologue from Dave Chappelle, and I think he had a slightly optimistic view on it also, just asking the president, everybody is counting on you, man. I mean, from both sides and around the world. Just keep in mind that they are just counting on you. And that's really, I think, how I feel also.
I thought it was the most mature Dave Chappelle I've seen in a long time because I kept thinking a joke was coming, but no, he was serious. It was a good way to close it.
All right, our intern Sadie is going through the same thing a lot have gone through, where how your ex will just take off. You haven't heard from him in a while, then all of a sudden they submarine. Here they are again with the most bizarre things. Why?
Yeah, it's been 6 months since we broke up. I haven't talked to him at all. I'm a exes can't be friends kind of gal. I'm more of a move on and be done.
Yeah, it's smart.
And he thinks I've put this curse on him, this Cassie level bad curse on him. So I'm sitting here the other day after the internship. It's 10 a.m. I get a text, so it's the first thing he thinks about when he wakes up, and it reads, "Please throw away the voodoo doll. Sorry, let me start over. Please throw away the voodoo doll you have of me. I can't take it anymore. I've been T-boned. had to get an MRI, had broken ribs, didn't have my car back for a month. My bathroom's just now almost done being remodeled after it was gutted before Thanksgiving. An untippable ladder tipped while I was on it, 12 feet high at work, and I rode it down. They had to reduce and set my bones in the ER. Worst pain I've ever felt. Then I had to have a 4-hour surgery on my wrist and physical therapy twice a week for 4 months. Stop it, okay? Do you want to see a picture of my wrist, though? It's gnarly.
So he's literally blaming every bad thing that's happening in his life on you.
On me, yes.
Okay, well, hold
What
on a
a
sec. We got to go back to this.
man.
We got to go back to this voodoo doll. So you literally had a voodoo doll made?
I don't.
No.
That's the thing.
He looking for attention. That's the attention text.
Because we've had a member on this show before that literally had a voodoo doll made.
Yeah.
So no, he's just saying that this is you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I haven't responded, and that was a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, I'll respond, but what do you even say to that?
After that entire laundry list of everything that's supposedly gone wrong in his life, you should just respond, yikes. Just like a
After 2
one-word
weeks.
answer. Yeah.
Yikes.
So who broke up with who? What was the reason for the breakup?
And how long was it?
This was like 6 months ago. I've only talked to him to get my belongings from his house because I just had like a few things over there. I broke up with him. It was a long time coming. I honestly don't even know if he listens to the show. I guess we'll find out. But, you know, I broke up with him. It kind of went okay. Like, it wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal in the moment. And then it kind of just tapered off, and it was a mutual thing after that. But out of nowhere.
Yeah, so if it's a mutual thing, like, it's not like he cheated on you or anything like that. Like, you just broke up with him. So bless his heart.
Yeah.
We see right through this.
Yes, we see
100%.
right through this.
Yeah, that's the old anything to get your attention text.
And
Yeah.
also feel sorry for me.
Yes, like, yeah, I've been shot 4 times. I'm saving kids out here. Please do something. That's all it is.
And your response again was?
I haven't answered him
You
yet.
haven't
I will, but
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't answer it
I mean, he's really hoping to open the window again.
at some point. Like, he just wants to get you to say anything.
yeah, I think once I answer, it's a done deal. I'm never going to be able to shut that door again.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart philosophy also. Like, when you're done with the break, when the relationship's over, the relationship is over, at least for a while.
Yeah, and he talked about, like, I'd love to be friends when the time is right. I just don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing with exes.
Oh,
No.
he doing anything to keep that door open.
Yeah.
You got to get that voodoo doll, cut off his little hand so he can't text you back, and call it a day.
Just the fingers, doesn't have to be the whole hand. Okay. All right. Here's what I really wanted to do this today, because there is a reoccurring thing that happens in this studio that probably happens in your office all the time also. When somebody is really excited about a TV show, they come on into the office and they start telling you about it, because I don't know if I'm like you guys, but when I'm done with the series, it just takes forever to find another one that I really, really like. And the best way, I think, to find a show is from somebody that has somebody you know that has a like personality. And if you like it, then maybe we'll like it also, right? So I asked everybody to come in here and pitch a show right now. So if you are listening and you're almost done with the series, or you just got done with it and you don't know where to start, I thought if we all come in here with 1 or 2 ideas, by the time we're done here, you guys might have a good goalpost of exactly where to go. So you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So Mo and I both love this series. I have watched it since its inception, and that has been a long ass time. So the Challenge All-Star Rivals.
I can't believe they still going.
It is still going. So
On MTV?
Yes, yes. So this is my guilty pleasure. All right. I love me some CT. I hate me some banana. So the Challenge All-Star Rivals is coming back. We just finished the Challenge season 40, which was fantastic, by the way. Yeah, season 40 just ended.
Man.
40.
Please tell me they have 3 seasons a year.
they do have quite a bit. So yes, it's been longer than, or it's been shorter than 40 years, but they had each era. So, you know, you had like the OGs, and then era 2, era 3, era 4. And that one was fantastic. But the Challenge All-Star Rivals, the names you know and love, because it's all-stars. So they're a little bit older, so they're not as spry as they used to be. So the competition isn't as intense as like the regular challenge, because they got that new blood in there.
Okay.
So Nani, Leroy, Devin, Shane, Beth, Beth,
Veronica.
Yeah, they ain't running real fast, but at least they're attempting to jog.
Yeah, the physical feats must be a little harder nowadays.
Well, they kind of like dumb it down from a physical standpoint.
Okay.
They make it a little easier because everybody gets hurt every single week. Somebody's twisting an ankle and they're having to leave the competition. So Wednesday, January 29th, it's back on MTV. If you got Xfinity, it's on channel 1405. But just go ahead. I'm letting you know, January 29th, it's back, and I will be watching every single week because I am a sucker for this show and TJ Lavin's laugh.
Okay, what do you got, Mo?
All right, so the show that I literally just finished, Bert, I know you hate this phrase, but it's a good show. It's called No Good Deed.
I've seen it. I mean, I've just seen it come up on like the trending shows. Is it good?
It's pretty good. I just watched it because I needed something to watch. Like you said, I had just finished Lioness, was looking for something new, and it just kind of came on, and I said I'd give it a shot. And it hooked me. It's with Lisa Kudrow and Ray Romano. Right. And they won't give too much away, but they're selling a home, and they have some prospects that they want to sell the home to. And each prospect is like a different couple that's going through a whole different thing in life. And it's like a good combination of mystery and funny at the same time. It kind of leaves you on the edge of your seat trying to figure out and piece together what exactly is happening while making you laugh. I think it's a good watch for anybody that's looking for some time to kill.
For me, I think the show I'm about to pitch really fits anybody who can handle a little bit of trauma. So if you love a show like Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon and you want to dial it back just a little bit, but you love like the fantasy elements and you love like a little bit of drama, I'm telling you, one of the greatest TV shows I've ever watched is Outlander. It started on Starz. You can now watch it on Netflix. I think all 6 to 7 seasons are on Netflix. I recently rediscovered the show because I was obsessed with it in college. I had my little sexy Scottish men that I used to get to watch on the elliptical every night at Southwest Gym at UF. And
you're going through all these different forests, putting your hands on rocks to see if you're going to get transported somewhere.
I was like, take me somewhere. Take me, Sassenach. And I will say there are some scenes that are really tough to watch, and because of that reason, I had to kind of put some distance between me and my sexy Scottish man, and I recently picked it back up. But this show literally has everything. I think both men and women would really enjoy this because there's romance in it, but there's action, and there's history, and there's fantasy, and it's just like a good, wholesome watch without feeling like you're watching the Hallmark Channel, because like I said, there is a lot of trauma.
How many seasons?
They are going to release the 8th season, and that'll be the final season.
That's the thing. There's got to be a sweet spot when it comes to how many seasons also. Like 3, 4 max for me. Anything more than that, I can't commit to it when I first started.
Then you'll love this. The Good Place has 4 seasons, and if you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It has Kristen Bell and Ted Danson in it, and it follows people who have passed away, and they end up in the good place. But there's a twist, and it is hilarious. It's probably one of the best written shows I've ever seen. It is so funny. It's easily watchable. It's so bingeable. It'll suck you in.
Okay, I've got 2 because one is mine and one is mine and Amanda's. And I can't watch 2 shows at the same time. I have to complete one before I move on. But Amanda's over at my house only like 25% of the time. So both of these shows are 10 years old. Bloodline. Do you guys know that?
I don't.
Oh, man, it's about a family in Florida, and there's some mystery going on there, and there's one bad brother, and it's with the dude from Friday Night Lights, which is why I started watching it in the first place, the coach. And it's got a lot of mystery, and you just never know what's going to happen. It's really well written. And the other one is called Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton. He is a lawyer, and he takes on these really big like cases where you never think he's going to win. And it's only 4 seasons long, and each season is getting more and more bizarre, but you can't stop watching. And one is on Bloodline is Netflix, and I believe Goliath is Amazon Prime Video. Abby really getting greedy. Not only matching with a dude on Hinge, but also wants to hook up with his brother.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Yeah, a guy I was talking to on Hinge called me out because he felt like I was making a move on his brother over him, and he could not have been more wrong, and it just ended up making me look like the dummy in this situation. So this all took place on the dating app Hinge, which at this point everyone knows that I'm on very frequently. And if you've never been on Hinge before, Hinge is set up where people can like you and you can like them. So you'll go into your feed and there will be profiles that are shown to you, and you can press the like button on some people's photos, or sometimes they'll have written prompts that you can like or comment on, so you can kind of get the conversation started. And so I'm on Hinge last week, and I end up seeing in my liked feed, so somebody's liked me, in my liked feed, a comment from a guy who looks pretty cute, and he's commented on one of my most popular prompts. I can never take this out of my profile because I swear this gets like 90% of the likes for me. And my prompt on Hinge says, it says, together we could get our parents to stop asking why we're single. And men love that because it kind of inflates their ego. They can be like, oh yeah, people also ask why I'm single too. So he's liked that post and he commented on it. And it actually made me like laugh out loud, where I was like, oh my God, this is like really funny. He said, so fun around the holidays, in quotations. Have I met anyone? Yeah, Mom, I've met a lot of people. And I was like, haha, that's a good joke. Good joke, guy. So then I ended up responding something along the lines of like, I see that Hinge has actually deleted it. So now I was going to read off of it, but now I can't. I said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, then you've got to say something. You've got to like throw them a curveball and start talking about all the men that you've met. You got to like throw them off. And then he ended up saying, well, my brother's gay. So that would be a lot for them to handle, I think, at the holidays to get that news. And I was like, oh, ha. And then I had to ask my resident gay person, Rebecca, if I was allowed to make this joke. Because admittedly, his profile picture has his brother in it. And I knew which one he was in the photo based off of the picture. For context, the man I'm talking to is in the military, and the guy sitting next to him in the photo was wearing a Christina Aguilera t-shirt. And all right. I, as an ally, wanted to make sure that this wasn't a joke that was going to get me canceled or be seen as homophobic. So I sent the screenshot to Rebecca and I said, can I respond to this and say something along the lines of like, oh my God, I'm shocked your brother's gay? And
like sarcastic.
Kind of sarcastic.
He's got the shirt on.
Because he's got the shirt on. So I send her the photo and she gives me the green light. I'm like, sick. I'm not going to lose my ally status over this. And I say, let me see if I can find it in my screenshots now okay. So I said, the one holding the Pomeranian and wearing the Christina Aguilera shirt? No. And he responded, LOL, yup. And then I decided to have a little snarky comment back, and I said, right on with the fist and then the little rainbow flag. I'm like, yes, like, it's cool with me that your brother is gay. That's what I'm trying to say here. And so we end up having this really fun conversation. We have a little back and forth banter. And I'm thinking, wow, this is going really well. He gets my humor, because sometimes that's really hard. Things can get lost in translation over Hinge, where you make a joke and you're kind of wondering if somebody's going to get the tone that you mean, which is why I really love to meet people in person as soon as possible, because then you can make those jokes and you don't feel like you have to overthink them. You don't feel like you have to put too much context, because they will see it and read it in your voice. So I'm thinking, all's good here. So our conversation keeps going, and then I say something. I kind of give him a little criticism for something he had said about how people are always asking him about his ex. I was like, oh, yikes, you don't update your friends and family about your big relationship changes? That's a red flag, something along those lines. And he said, no, most of my friends and family know, but like when I go around for the holidays, like, you know, my mom's friends, I have to update them and it's really awkward. And I said, you should probably start a newsletter or something so that you can avoid any awkwardness next year. And he goes, haha, that could be really funny. We make a joke about it. And then he gives me two options. He's like, I could do this kind of newsletter or this kind of newsletter. And then I respond, those are both good options. When you send these screenshots out to them, make sure you headline it, in quotations, random internet girl clocks my brother immediately as a friend of Dorothy, in quotations. And he goes, you lost me. And I'm like, what? He goes, what the heck is a friend of Dorothy? And I was like, oh, do you not know what that means? And so I explained to him what it means.
I don't know what it means either.
You don't know what friend of Dorothy means? It means you're gay. It means I don't know what the history is, but like there's some kind of history where you would call yourself a friend of Dorothy back in the day when.
Is it because Judy Garland played Dorothy in Wizard of Oz and she was a gay icon?
Yeah. But it has something to do with like people not wanting to get caught back in the day. Like in the 50s when it was
so it was like a
Morrissey.
code word.
It was a code word that people would use, but I thought this was well known. Anyway, so he goes, wait a second, was your second message sarcasm? I genuinely thought it was disappointment. And I said, yes, I was joking. I was clocking. Your brother's wearing a Christina Aguilera t-shirt. Of course I was being sarcastic. So then things got really awkward and uncomfortable after that, and I never recovered.
Just take one line. One bad joke, man.
Grand opening, grand closing.
I'm not homophobic. I swear.
All right, Erica here needs our help, mostly because she has a daughter and she hates the daughter's boyfriend, thinks he's trash, and wanted our help to see if he would cheat on her given the opportunity. Hey, Erica, good morning.
Good morning, y'all. How you doing?
Good. All right, so tell us about your daughter and this dude that you absolutely loathe.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so my daughter's 20, and she's dating a man who is 31. And I just can't shake this feeling about him. Honestly, it's from the moment I've met him, I've just had nothing but bad vibes. And of course, she's not listening to me because I'm her mother. But but if I have like a proof or something that he's like a POS, like I honestly think that is probably the only way that I can get through to her.
There is something. I met somebody this weekend also. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you know it when you see it. Just like, you know what? If I spend more time with you, I'm going to figure out that you are a fraud, that you are just not a nice person, but you can't put your finger on it. But I don't know that, and as a mom, you have that history behind you also where your antenna's up a little bit better. But isn't this meddling though? Like, I understand you want to protect, but isn't this meddling at the end of the day?
I mean, at this point, I'm kind of just like reaching at straws, It's like there's just something wrong with him, and yes, I've been around the block. I know men. I know these different types of things, and the age gap, and honestly, like the age gap isn't a huge issue. It's not like the reason that I'm feeling weird about it, but he's just very controlling, Like, he checks her phone. He questions where she's been. Like, kind of, I feel like he's isolating her and not letting her hang out with her friends as much as she used to.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot more than just an instinct. You got real facts here.
Is there anything else?
Is there anything else? Okay. Yes.
Okay.
She just getting started.
I have found he's extremely immature for his age. Despite the fact that he's 31, he doesn't have a stable job. He's more like a paycheck to paycheck kind of guy. I just don't know where he's getting his money from. I don't know how he's supporting her lifestyle. I just think that he's shady, you guys. I really do. Every time I've been around him and my daughter, like I just get these bad vibes. And then like if sometimes she can't get a hold of him, she'll be at home and can't get a hold of him, and he'll make excuses like he's working late, or gosh, he's helping a friend, like making her feel bad about like even questioning where he is. And I found this receipt that was like for a dinner for two, and I was asking her about her recent dates with him, and it seems like the date was not with her.
Yeah, the evidence is starting to pile up here.
And the age gap thing here between, you said 30 and 21 or 31 and 20?
20 and 31.
Yeah, see, as far as age gap goes, I do think the time of it has everything to do with the argument. And this one does seem like a very large age gap.
40 to 51? Yeah. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right.
20 to 31?
Yeah.
Your brain is finally fully developed.
It's that 20.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
All right. So you wanted us to test him with the War of the Roses to see if he's got any kind of side piece that he would send flowers to rather than your daughter, which we did, and we have results for you. So hang out in a couple of minutes and we'll tell you exactly what he did, okay? You know it when you see it. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you get that feeling, when you're hanging out with somebody and their aura is just like, I don't trust that person. I don't trust that person at all, Eric is feeling that about her daughter's new boyfriend, who is 31 years old. Erica's daughter is 20, so Erica's not real happy with that age gap during that time. 31 and 20 doesn't sit well with her. And there's just been some other things that she just feels like this dude is dirty. And she wanted our help to see if among all that stuff, he would be a cheater also. So she wanted us to do a War of the Roses. Do I have all that right, Erica?
Yep. Sounds about exactly right.
Okay. All right.
Well, because Erica described his behavior as like, he was working late, helping a friend when her daughter couldn't get a hold of him. They had found a receipt for a fancy dinner for two, but her daughter hadn't been to this restaurant. We opted to go with War of the Roses instead of Instagram scam because it does sound like there's another woman in his life that he could potentially send flowers to. So we sent a promotional email to the email address Erica gave us for her daughter's boyfriend. He's offered a free bouquet of flowers, able to choose from several options with photos. In exchange, he's asked to share a promo code for a percentage off a future order with his friends and family. All right, Erica, and these were his options in our fake floral email. We have my one and only, a classic bouquet of 24 long stem red roses wrapped in an elegant satin ribbon for the one you love. Next, we have Sweetheart Surprise, a mix of pink roses, lilies, and baby's breath in a pastel-colored vase, a romantic gesture for the one you're trying to impress. Then we have Just Because, a cheerful, vibrant mix of sunflowers, daisies, and tulips in a mason jar, perfect for your favorite coworker or friend. And lastly, Mysterious Elegance, dark red and purple roses with exotic orchids and greenery arranged in a sleek black vase, a sultry arrangement that hints at the passion between the two of you. So the first email was sent at 10:48 a.m. He didn't respond, but you said he was living paycheck to paycheck, so he might like some free flowers. So we sent another email at 1:16 p.m. He ultimately responded a little later in the day, 4:22, and took advantage of the offer. So he bit. All right, Erica. He chose Sweetheart Surprise, a mix of pink roses, lilies, and baby's breath in a pastel-colored vase, a romantic gesture for the one you're trying to impress. He is sending those flowers to a woman named Lainey. For those listening, that is not your daughter's name, correct?
No, it is not.
You busted.
Oof. So he's sending these to a woman named Lainey. He set delivery for Friday morning to a work address, and the note on the card says, Sorry we aren't able to see each other this weekend. Let these keep you company until we can.
Oh, he busted.
Unless it's a mom or something.
Oh, his mom is Lainey, the one he's trying to impress?
Maybe.
Oh, no.
Nope. Okay, yeah. You guys want to know why he won't be with this mystery Lainey? He's going to a christening with our family this weekend.
No.
What?
Yeah, that's a good excuse.
He's going to a christening.
Okay, all right.
With Erica's daughter and their family, which is why he can't hook up with Lainey this weekend because he's going to be at church.
But we're still not sure who Lainey is. Are we?
I think we know who Lainey is. I think we can.
What if Lainey is a grandmother? I mean, how many grandmothers do you know named Lainey? 100.
Okay, well, she's got an easy homework assignment this weekend, Erica. And when you're at the christening, be like, you know what? I don't know a lot about your family. You have, any sisters named Lainey, any moms named Lainey, any grandmas named Lainey. I'm sorry, Erica, because I know you never want your child to go through something like this.
Yeah, but I don't have to feel guilty kind of pushing to kind of have more conversations about this ending. I didn't want to ignore my instincts, and this kind of helps that quite a lot, actually.
So there's a second layer of this also. So how do you tell her this? At 20 years old, she's going to do what she wants, right? Is she even really going to listen to mom, or is she going to make a million different excuses?
Oh, if my mom did this, I'd be peeved. Right. Like, you did what on the radio?
So,
you found out what?
Yeah, so I don't know that you could tell her the way you found out, but I don't know how you handle this info.
I probably would ask him who Lainey is in front of her.
Oh.
Let him dig himself in the hole.
Unless he says, why are you asking me about Lainey? And then she's like,
I didn't get that far myself.
I don't know, man. I'm willing to look like the bad guy. I might just bring it up and at least plant the seed in her head,
Just do it while you're at church and be like, God told me. God whispered in my little ear.
Lie on God. In church.
Lainey's a slut.
Don't bring God into it. All right, Erica, good luck, all right? Yeah, at least your instincts were right on.
Thank you, guys.
Bye now. Our parents, our generation, their generation had "Where were you when Kennedy was assassinated?" There was a generation, "Where were you in 2001 when the terrorist attacks occurred?" Now it's "Where were you when TikTok went dark?" That's what happened for 14 hours, and none of it smells right. Zero. Here's Phil DeFranco explaining exactly what happened if you're not aware.
I know this is going to involve some of the people that are watching this video, but I gotta say, I did not like waking up this morning and just seeing the sheer number of people rejoicing, or at the very least laughing at TikTokers that were like crying on video, that were scared about this ban, like how it was going to completely upend their life and like what they've been doing and trying to build over the last 1 to 5 years. And dude, I probably wouldn't broadcast to the internet, but I'd be freak the out if YouTube got banned, like if my core thing. And for a lot of these people, TikTok money isn't, I mean, the top TikTokers, like they can bring in like a lot of money, but you're like big TikToker, it's not the same as YouTube money or money on a lot of these different platforms. Like it was enough for some people to like go, okay, this can be my main thing. Or, though for a lot of people, it was like kind of just side money, but it offered them the option, the prospect for hope, for something they could build to like for this to be their thing. And for a lot of businesses, it kept them from shutting down and allowed them to grow and maybe even take things to another level. Like if you don't know how the big TikTok shop was, it's huge. And so for a lot of people, like this is devastating, and that's in addition to the people that were like using it as an entertainment source, or its algorithm is so key that it's like it's easy to find your people, your community, people that are in your sort of thing or your life experience. So I get it.
So, I mean, it's easy to poke fun at the teenagers that had nothing else to do and were panicking over TikTok. But you do have to remember, like Phil's saying there's a large community of people that depend on this as their careers that were totally and completely freaked out.
Yeah, it wasn't just teens. It's like 30, 40-year-olds whose life, musicians who get discovered on the app, small business owners who are selling their product on the app, or just creators who are getting paid by TikTok themselves.
It's literally like losing your small business, which is why I didn't understand why people were giving TikTokers such a hard time. Like if you found out you were losing your job possibly in a couple of weeks, you would be distraught. And for a lot of the big creators, they're fine because they have Instagram followings and so they can just go make money over there. But a lot of the creators only have an audience on TikTok and have created this life in this business that they don't know that they're not qualified to do anything else now. They're like, wait, I dropped out of college. I didn't get my degree. What do I do now?
Watching this all play out and remembering what Cassie said, if the ban went into place, what TikTok would look like, seeing how the quote unquote ban went into place, it screamed to me, something else was going on, and that it wasn't the ban that went into place. It was TikTok that made a choice to remove the app, or to enable the app rather, and then to have everybody talk, and then to bring it back in conjunction with the new president of the United States. And this, I was thinking this, I'm like, this just feels like, it doesn't feel like a ban. It feels like TikTok is doing something. It felt like a dupe, and too raw, too real on Instagram. Like, I'm like, this is what I'm trying to get at.
Baby, this is Marketing 101. Trump and the CEO of TikTok are in cahoots. Tell me why he's going to Trump's inauguration and why he posted, "We are fortunate that Trump will indicate that he will work with us on a solution that will reinstate TikTok." Baby, are you quick to forget that Trump was the reason why we in this mess to begin with? He was the one who issued an EO that tried to ban TikTok to begin with. And it was Biden who revoked it in 2021 as soon as he took office. Baby, this is a stunt. You're using your platform to tell millions of users that Trump is the reason why TikTok is going to come back, when in actuality you didn't even have to go black to begin with. Because if anybody read the actual ban, it says the president has the ability to grant 90 days extension for TikTok to sell. Or what I think will happen is Trump is going to call on Congress, which is Republican control, and along with the Senate, to pass a bill to bring back TikTok, to make it look like Trump saved TikTok, Trump saved all these entrepreneurs, he cares about their working people, when he doesn't give a damn about none of us. This is a distraction.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think that there was a handshake deal made. I think everything up until like the last couple of days was real. But then I do think that there was a handshake deal between TikTok and the president saying, hey, you know what? Let's just wait a couple of days and I'll swoop in and save TikTok. Will you do that for me? And I think that was the handshake agreement.
I just want to point out, too, about that pass video. While it did pass under Biden, it did have broad bipartisan support from both parties. And the executive order that Trump has signed just delays the ban by 75 days to allow his administration to come to the conclusion on the appropriate course of action. Now, if you want to go down conspiracy theory lane with me, so 75 days, the law is still in place, right? It's just been pushed that they have to sell or be shut down in the U.S. A lot of users, in fact, I would say every other video in my feed when TikTok came back was talking about how the algorithm was not the same. And a former TikTok software engineer actually said the TikTok algorithm is probably one of the most important pieces of software or valuable pieces of software in the world. So a lot of people are like, it feels like when your mom came in your room, but nothing is moved, but you know something's wrong. Something is off. So some people are thinking that perhaps when it shut down, they pushed a new update that changed the algorithm. So then ByteDance would eventually sell to Meta or somebody similar, but not the original proprietary algorithm.
I was glad it changed. The algorithm changed because mine was super boring. And I was getting all sorts of fun TikToks over the weekend because it was changed.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, like I've seen the whole money trail that now all these representatives have bought stock in Meta over the last couple of years, which I think is a whole other rabbit hole. But on a lighter note, during the shutdown, when I had to cope by watching Instagram Reels, I came across this user named Jen Hamilton, who actually ended up on a Chinese news program where they were, I guess, making fun of her for something she said about being okay with that country having her data.
I'm on the news in Hong Kong, but you have to know what I said in order to make it to the news. So it was on a video where I was talking about how little I care that the Chinese has my data because American companies already have it and sell it and exploit it. I don't care. But I want to remind you what I said exactly. And keep in mind, they had to translate this into Chinese.
It is impossible to underestimate how little I care that the Chinese has my data. I will suck on a tampon and overnight it to the CCP. Okay, I do not care.
I've been in the news for some weird stuff before. I have a Google alert for my name, okay? Because every once in a while, they'll write articles about stuff that's not even newsworthy. Like, why is this newsworthy? But to know that in the dying days of this app that I got to be the representative of the United States of America and telling them that I will suck on a tampon and overnight it to the Chinese Communist Party. That's my favorite one. What an honor to represent these United States. Next up, Fox News.
Jen Hamilton, a true American hero.
A patriot of sorts.
So here's the thing that I felt was so freaking comical over the weekend. This thing has backfired right from the start. You know that I said that there didn't seem to me, at least publicly, to be any smoking gun at all that was tying, well, not at all, very, very, very little detail that really tied in this company to the Chinese government. And the hearings were ridiculous. It was a whole bunch of Congress people that had no idea what they were talking about, that didn't understand the difference between China and Singapore. The whole thing was a cluster, right? And then over the weekend, when it gets shut down, and they're shutting it down in the face of this being a Chinese company. So they shut down TikTok. So everybody goes to Red Note, which is a Chinese-owned company, right? And I downloaded Red Note and watched everything going down. And to see Americans start to make friends with the Chinese and vice versa, and the Chinese starting to educate Americans about their country and how Americans were like, oh my God, it sounds like an amazing place. I think what you did was you took a whole generation of people that were scared of China and made it seem like, hey, this might be a place. They're really friendly people. This is kind of a place I want to go. It made it more intriguing than anything else.
It was great. Chinese students were getting help from Americans with their English homework. They were my favorite was seeing them ask Americans like, hey, we're pretty sure this is Chinese propaganda. Y'all don't have to actually pay for ambulances, do you? And the American was like, no, that's true. We do. Because people don't understand how other countries work. So it's great. But I would caution, whatever you see, Meta got rid of its fact-checking program. just keep in mind as you're on social networks to do your own critical thinking and research.
It's just such a cluster right from the start. So yeah, this was pretty ugly last week. Rachel and Michelle got in a big old fight off the air and on the air of the Bert Show.
Yeah, so Rachel had hit us up last week because she wanted to scare her best friend straight. Her best friend is dating a married man, a married man who also has kids. And she's like, my friend's better than this. Like, I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know how she can be a homewrecker. I expected more from her. And so Rachel wanted us to scare her friend straight by lying and saying we're bringing back a segment called Mistress Monday. An anonymous source told us that she was in a relationship with a married man, wanted to have her on. Obviously, her friend Michelle was not digging the idea of being on a Mistress Monday and came in heated in the email, understandably so, wanting to know who this anonymous source was, which we didn't disclose. But Rachel really didn't think this out, as we didn't use the voice disguiser, though we did change her name. Her friend listens to the show, so it was only a matter of time before everything came out. And when Rachel called us to give us the update of the fallout of their friendship, Michelle called during the segment and they basically just had it out on the air. So last we know is that Michelle had no inclination of stopping. She was going to continue to date the married man, and Rachel and Michelle's friendship was just donezo.
So we thought that was that until this morning. Hey, Rachel, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So it's not quite over yet, eh?
Okay, so I did a thing.
That never bodes well.
And you did a thing in the first place that got us right here, right now.
I did more things. Okay, so here's how it goes. The more I thought about what my quote-unquote friend said on the air last week, the angrier I got. And at first, I felt a little guilty for involving you guys, but the way she turned everything around on me, acting like I was the problem while she's out there sneaking around with a married man, I lost it, you know?
And when you lost it, what was the thing that you did?
So I couldn't shake the thought of his wife. She's completely in the dark. She's living her life, trusting her husband while he's off doing this behind her back. And the more I thought about it, the more I felt like she deserved to know the truth. Because if it were me, I mean, I'd want somebody to tell me.
Rachel.
Oh, no.
Rachel.
What does that mean?
Rachel.
I think we know exactly what it means.
Just say it.
Like, after hours of debating this with myself, I did the thing I thought I'd never do. I messaged the wife on Facebook.
Oh. Rachel, you reached out to his wife?
I did.
What did you say?
Oh my gosh. So I typed out this long message explaining everything. I didn't get too graphic, but I gave her enough details to know that, like, I wasn't making it up. And I included my ex-friend's name.
Oh, God.
The infractions on both ends here, I mean, just the meddling here. So much meddling. I mean, initially I understood why you were bothered by your friend messing around with a married man. You know, I mean, from a professional standpoint, it's great drama for us on the radio, but it also felt a little meddling rather than you just going to her and just letting it go. Then you come on and you do this, and then you go ahead and you now reach out to the married man's wife. It all feels just really, really icky, and I wish you would have just done away with it last week and been over it.
It felt genuine at first. It felt like you were genuinely concerned for your friend, and now the way that it's going, it feels like it's something different.
So, I mean, and you're kind of laughing as you're saying it also. Like, I'm not sure where your head was at. I don't know what this relationship was all about before this, but it feels to me like really icky all the way around.
Well, okay, to be fair, the laughter is nervous laughter because this is a really nerve-wracking situation, but I just feel like the wife deserves to know truth. My friend deserves karma. This isn't even the first time I've done this. I've told other women that their husbands were cheating on them. So this isn't the first time I've been a truth teller for this.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. What's your origin story here? Have you been burned by infidelity in the past, and now this is kind of your way of being a superhero and just diffusing this with other women so they don't have the same hurt you had?
Not really. That's not my story. It's more that I just have this sixth sense for sociopaths and narcissists and cheaters, and I just can call them from across a room. I've always been able to do this, and I steer clear of those people, and people ask me why, and I'm like, they're not good people.
I feel like she needs to bottle that up and sell it.
Yeah, right. You're like an emotional vigilante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any response from the wife?
I have not. I have been checking my messages nonstop, but there is nothing.
And your friend has blocked you on everything, so you haven't talked to Michelle, right?
No, we're definitely done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to end this.
Well, I think it just ended itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I should thank you for the update.
Yeah.
There's that laugh.
There's the left.
Laugh again, man. Okay. Yeah, none of it feels right. None of it feels right.
Way too far.
And before there was like this little instinct or this little inkling for me of like, man, you're meddling just a little too much here anyway. And now this just seems like overkill.
Yeah, it almost feels like she's trying to fill a void. Like she kind of gets off on like the attention of telling people what's going on and everyone's interested because it's drama, but then also like getting to feel like you're on this high horse because that's what other people are sociopaths, other people are narcissists, but not me.
All right, so take her out of it, right? And like that weird nervous laughter, all that stuff. Does the wife deserve to know?
I mean, I feel like we've had this debate for 20 years.
Yes, we have. Longer than that.
I mean, I feel like she deserves to know.
But is
sure.
it her
But does
place?
Right. That's what I don't think it's her place to be the one to tell her. I think the wife should find out in another way.
100%. And honestly, like if I was the wife, I would want somebody to tell me, but I think she severely overstepped her boundaries, A, when she called us, and B, when she hit up the wife on Facebook.
God, there's the old cliche that the universe is giving you signs, pointing you in the right direction all the time, but sometimes it's not there.
A couple of months ago, I came on here and told you guys about a really, really eerie coincidence that I had while driving my car. And quick recap, my mom has stage 4 breast cancer, not going well. It's terminal. So while driving the car at night one day by myself, I was just thinking about like her death and a funeral and all that, and just getting really overwhelmed and upset because what's next? What's beyond the veil? And just kind of all those existential crisis questions you usually have in the middle of the night, except I was having the, real time while awake and driving. And so I go to switch lanes and I put on cruise control on my car, which is like a Tesla Model 3, which is important for the sake of this story. And all of a sudden, Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult starts playing. And I am like freaking out. I'm like, this is great. My Instagram isn't open. My TikTok's not open. I even pull over to be like, maybe it connected to my phone and make sure the apps are closed, right? Or I'm closing the apps. Nothing is playing though. I was listening to an audiobook beforehand and I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from. It's like loud volume. And you know how if you're listening to a sound in an app and you shut it down on your iPhone, the sound just cuts out? Mm-hmm. This didn't cut out. It faded in and faded out. And so I'm freaking out and I'm like, this is a sign from the universe. This is the universe telling me it's going to be okay. Don't fear the Reaper.
Like it can't be any more
clear.
Obvious.
Right. Yes. Until I hear Christopher Walken chime in and go, more cowbell. Because it was actually the SNL skit with Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken where they're doing Don't Fear the Reaper, and Christopher Walken, as a music producer, keeps telling them they need more cowbell in the song. Right. So Will Ferrell is like beating a cowbell. And I'm like, this is weird, but okay, the universe has a sense of humor. Then I'm on the TikTok and I'm scrolling and I hear this.
If you push the cruise control button too many times, the screen will start flashing and the car will start playing the Christopher Walken, Need More Cowbell skit from Saturday Night Live at full volume. And the only way to turn it off is to pull over and restart the vehicle.
Wait, let me get this straight again.
So this is a Tesla thing?
It's a Tesla Easter egg that one of the developers put in there. So there are Easter eggs they hide. There's another one that's Rainbow Road from Mario Kart, and it turns your screen into looking like you're driving on Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. It was an Easter egg, and I didn't know it until I was scrolling later on, and I was like, there goes my sign.
I don't want a car with a sense of humor. I just want it to get me from A to B.
I mean, it's
Comedian car. No, thank you.
It would be funny if it hadn't happened when I was thinking about my mom dying from cancer. But, so I don't know. Maybe that is the universe's way of constructing it so it still is a sign. It just happened to be a long con.
That's fascinating. I think it's one of those things where you're in a part in your life and you want to believe these things are signs, so your narrative changes everything.
Yeah, don't believe anything.
Literally don't believe it.
Wow. I think we learned that this weekend with TikTok also.
Yes.
That's the tie. Ladies, I know you don't want to believe it, but are dating apps harder on guys than they are on women? At least one poster at Internet HOF, that's on X, this was a repost, think so.
So one of my guy friends gave me permission to make a Hinge account for him because I was telling him how easy dating is with dating apps, and he was telling me that it's incredibly difficult, and I was like, Pete, you must be doing something wrong. And he gave me permission to create an account for him and just run the account. I've been a virtual boy for 3 days, and I've never felt this bad about myself. I feel like a freaking loser trying to get these girls to like me, and I'm starting to hate women because I'm like, when I say I mean Pete, because that's the account I'm using. Pete's about a 6. But I'm so desperate, I'm liking the 2s and the 3s, and even they won't like me back. So what level of delusion has entered women's heads? Like, what is going on? It is so difficult dating as a boy. I hate it. I'm on day 3 of being a boy, and I hate women, and I'm more depressed than ever.
So Abby initially heard this and was like, wow, it's just as hard for women.
Well, I also just felt like her take was so me. Like, if you saw the video, it's a conventionally attractive woman being like, these girls don't like me. Oh, I've never felt so bad about myself. I'm like, how do you think Pete feels? Pete has to live in that body. Like, you get to go off into the real world and be a 10. And I thought it was a little whiny, and I just think dating apps screw over everybody. And I know women and men can, admittedly, I do this a lot, where sometimes we can feel like our struggles are just so much worse than the other genders and they don't know what it's like. But I really do feel like we're all just like bound to lose when it comes to trying to find a partner on the internet.
So we tried this out, and Matt called up and's like, hey, if Abby wants to take over my account, and don't get this twisted, it wasn't Abby taking over the account in order to get Matt like more people interested in him. It was just for Abby to experience life through a guy on a dating app, right?
And to be fair, like, I wanted to go in with a fighting chance. So I did a little rehabilitation to Matt's profile because I felt like he had a good start, but I was like, let's shift it a little bit.
That wasn't the assignment.
Well, listen,
not the assignment.
If I'm going to take it through, if I'm going to live life through his eyes, I was like, I want to make sure that I'm giving him a fair chance of a fair opportunity of what it's like when you're dating out there.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, how are y'all?
Good, man. Okay, so first of all, I didn't know we were going to lead with this, but when Abby refurbished your profile, were you happy with what she did?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like last time I had talked to y'all, there wasn't any likes coming or anything like that, or it was far and few. And so, I was more than open to any suggestions, I guess.
Explain the frustration you've been feeling on dating apps. And because I don't know it's any different than men as it is women, but for you, it's really been tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more so far and few. And a lot of times it's just a lot of chatting, not so much, meeting up with the other person. So almost like applying for a job and never getting an interview kind of thing. So I think, and also too, I think you match with some people and then you never get any kind of response or anything like that. You kind of ghosted. So yeah. And again too, it's one of those things where it can knock your confidence over a duration of time where you're just consistently not getting the likes or just never meeting up with people or anything like that.
What is the overall, and I'm asking both of you guys this, like, At what point do you start to just get burned out on it? Is it the 30-day mark when you're on a dating app? Is it 60 days? Is it a year?
Bert, I've been on the apps for a decade.
Right.
So if there is a burnout point, I don't think I've gotten there yet.
Yeah, we've watched you get there.
Well, yeah, it happens sporadically, and then the nights just get lonely. And the sheets are cold, and then you look over and you're surrounded by cat number 1 and cat number 2, and you're like, something's got to change.
Matt, for you, how long have you been on there?
Goodness, I would say the same thing. I mean, you definitely have your times where you get away from it, I think, and try to, for me personally, just kind of focus on myself, really just better myself as a person. But then, you kind of always find your way back and either re-download the apps or get back into it. So
there's always hope. It's one or two suckers that it actually works out for that keep that hope alive, dang it.
I know you go to a wedding and they're like, hashtag met on Bumble, and you're like, what Bumble are they using? Where's their algorithm?
All right, so what did you find when you took over Matt's dating profile and started trying to link up with women?
Yeah, so I ended up getting on both Matt's Bumble and his Hinge, because those are the two that I have personal experience from my own account, so I thought this will be the most fair comparison. So I logged into his Bumble and I logged into his Hinge. And because I'm a little competitive, like I wanted to come in swinging and I wanted to give a fighting chance to get as many matches as possible. Because, my pride is on the line here. So I switched out a couple of photos, nothing crazy, just put in a couple of more like real life pics as opposed to like a selfie or two. And the first thing that I noticed that was different from his apps as opposed to mine is that on Bumble, I ran out of likes so quickly. And it's not because I was sitting on there like swiping. I probably used it about the same amount that I was in my normal life. And I would like maybe 5 or 6 girls, and then Bumble would shut me down immediately. So typically for Bumble, like you can like someone here and there, and I probably would get 25 swipe rights on Bumble to where I could actually swipe right on someone. Not necessarily a match. I just had the opportunity to send them a like. Whereas on his Bumble, it was like 5 likes and Bumble was like, that's enough. Don't get greedy. Be more selective. And I'm like, I only liked 5 girls. Chill out, Bumble.
Do they have parameters on there for dudes?
So I don't know if that's a difference between men and women, but like I felt like I had less
opportunity,
currency. Like I like Bumble as a woman, like I felt like I had more opportunities to swipe right. Whereas as a guy, I'd be on there for like 30 seconds and they'd be like, okay, bye-bye.
Really?
That's
yeah.
interesting.
So I spent most of my time on Hinge because Hinge also has parameters, but it definitely felt more comparable to mine. Like, you're not really running out of likes on Hinge. Like, you got to like 50 people on one day before they're like, okay, get a life. Go out and touch grass. And
that's funny they do that.
It is crazy. And I say for his profile, I had the most luck on Hinge, where I had some women sending me direct likes, so I could kind of filter through, okay, do I think he'd be interested in her or not? Okay, yes, I'll like respond. And I sent a couple of likes to other women. So I think I probably got 4 or 5 people in the inbox during that time. So that's about what I would be typically getting on a Hinge profile for me. So that I didn't notice as much of a difference for Hinge as opposed to Bumble. But other than that, I mean,
the struggle is real for everybody.
The struggle is real for everyone. I think I've just decided that with the dating apps, you are designed to lose. Like Hinge's slogan is the app designed to be deleted. And it's designed to be deleted because you get so frustrated because you're swiping through thinking, wow, everyone sucks. I started swiping for him when I was out at a brewery with some friends, and I had kind of already had this observation in my own life. And I'm looking around, I'm like, there's groups of guys and there's groups of girls, and they all seemingly look like they're here not with partners. They all look like they're single, and they look like normal, capable humans that if I saw them on the internet, I'd swipe right on. But the app silos you into this one pool where they're just feeding you all these people they know you're not going to be interested in. And so it creates this scarcity mindset where you think, oh, everyone sucks and nobody wants to talk to me. And the people that do want to talk to me ghost me after 3 days. Whereas in the real world, there's people that are going to give you the side eye and be like, oh, that guy's cute or that girl's cute. And I think we all just need to stop giving these apps business because they're not doing us any favors. We need to touch some grass so we can touch some other stuff. So I think the real lesson that I've learned here is that we're both getting screwed over and we all need to get out into the real world and make real connections.
And the more you and Matt talk about this, the more I can realize like how this generation of people are just going through more mental health issues than in other generations because of this constant rejection and trying to work your way around this rejection for just a little bit of approval on social media apps or dating apps. It's just this constant looking at yourself in a negative way.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to get rejected like while you're sitting behind your desk. Like normally you'd have to go out to a bar, get a couple of drinks behind you, and then get rejected. Now it's like you're in the middle of a meeting and you're like, oh, there goes my self-esteem again for the rest of the week. So yeah, the apps need to be deleted. They're designed to be deleted because they suck. And I know if you've had luck on the apps, congratulations. You got the last helicopter out of Nam. The rest of us are here on the island of misfit toys, just trying to get laid before they turn 30.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Matt, thanks a lot for letting us use your account, man. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great one.
You too.
We didn't help Matt at all, man.
No, I'm going to log out so you can get back on them.
Abby, so with all that said, are you deleting them?
Should I delete? We did this last year and it only lasted a month.
I know, but everything you just said makes it sound like you're going to delete them today.
Yeah, I'll delete. No.
I'm going to have to go back today and watch Dave Chappelle's opening monologue for Saturday Night Live because it was distracting. Did you guys see it?
I've seen bits and pieces. I saw the lovely story he told of Jimmy Carter, which I thought was beautiful.
It was amazing. The message was really great, except I went over to a friend's house, and I don't watch Saturday Night Live.
I don't either.
So they were saying, hey, did you see Dave Chappelle? All right. And I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. So all of us started watching, and in that room were 3 women and 2 guys. And we started watching Dave Chappelle, and about a quarter of the way through, they pause it. One of the women pause it, and they say, are you guys seeing what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you guys can't see the huge outline of what's going on south of the border on Dave Chappelle? And at that point, it was the only thing that I could focus on.
Jeez.
And it was tremendous.
Yeah, a little print action going on?
Whoa. Really? I can't believe you guys watched it and didn't see it.
I did not.
It is like somebody stuck 3 socks in his pants. And the way he was sitting on
Look how quick Abby got the
I know, right?
Wait a second. I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Now, me and the other dude in the room didn't even notice it, but the women were like, I'm so glad you said it because it's the only thing that I could focus on. And the way that he was, you see it? You see it, right?
It's looking at me. I didn't look at it.
I watched it twice. I did not notice this at all.
The way he is sitting on the bar stool, everything is to the left. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't really miss that.
Nah. Wow. Wait.
That's a baseball.
All of the shows he's done.
Yep.
And this is the first time he's ever slipped up. Them pants. He knew them pants was that tight before he went out there.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he? Or
He
the
had
way?
to know.
Nah.
That's crazy.
Come on.
I mean, or his wife. Somebody, I mean, my girlfriend would have said something to me if that was a problem, which it's not. Unfortunately. I have never had any of my girlfriends ever say, hey, just want to let you know.
You're perfectly fine. Go ahead out there.
Yeah. You're going to be fine. Nobody's going to notice anything, right? But no, I can't believe that you saw it and you didn't
No,
didn't
I was
even
just
notice.
listening to his lovely sentiments about President Jimmy Carter. May he rest in peace.
It really was fantastic.
The fact that they paused it to tell you that it was going on is hilarious.
Yeah. Because Joel and I looked at each other like, what are you even talking about? And then we looked at him and we're like, oh, now we can't even pay attention to what he's saying. We missed a really lovely message, I think.
I did not notice that.
All right, Kristen, talk about the length a mother's going to go to protect her child's innocence. Certainly not watching Saturday Night Live Saturday.
No, that's not something I watch with Jimmy. We lost a fish.
Oh, no.
The Bert Show death tank is living up to its name.
It's cursed, man.
Uh-huh. All right. So, long story long. The Bert Show won some fish at a fair, brought them back to the station, ended up getting a tank for them. All 3 fish. Fish 1, fish 2, fish 3 all died. And I hit up Fish Daddy Jackson and I was like, hey, is it the tank or is it us? And he goes, it's definitely us, not the tank. The tank is fine.
Specifically Amber that killed them.
She killed
by overfeeding them.
She killed 1, not all 3. It wasn't a mass murder. She's not a serial killer. She's just the one.
The other 2 died of depression.
And
hopelessness.
So Bert had purchased the tank and I was like, hey, can I have this for Jimmy for Christmas? He's like, absolutely, take it. So I took the tank and I got Jimmy 3 fishies for Christmas. We got Dinosaur, we got Tiger, and we got Tootie. Tootie because he toots a lot. And that was the name of the fish. The blue one, the yellow one, and the reddish-orange one with stripes. So for the past week, I've been monitoring the fish tank situation. And it hasn't been looking good for Dinosaur, man.
Yeah, it's just a little slower than usual.
Well, yes. And Dinosaur was an a-hole, man. And I wasn't sure if fish could be a-holes.
Fish could be a-holes?
I'm about to give you a fun fact, sir.
Do they alpha dog each other? Alpha fish each other?
So Dinosaur was chasing Tootie and Tiger around and nipping at him and stuff. And Tootie and Tiger were they were over Dinosaur's S, right? But then all of a sudden, Dinosaur got real bloated because he was also an a-hole when it came to feeding time. Mm-hmm. When you fed him, he was like... He
was a bully.
Gluttonous.
Yes. So his belly got distended, and then he started doing that sideways turn, and then he was his fins were flapping real hard, and then he kind of got suctioned up to the filter for a little bit, and I'm like, dude, this is imminent. So my husband and I had this hilarious text exchange because he was letting me know, hey, you need to check on the fish because I think Dinosaur is a goner. And I was like, yeah, I've been noticing that. And Bart was like, good, because he was a D word anyway. And I was like, yeah, I noticed that. So sure enough, Sunday morning, Dinosaur's dead.
Oh.
So he's floating there on the bottom, actually, upside down next to one of the plant decorations. Well, here's the thing. Saturday morning, I got Cassie and her kids coming over for a play date. So Hazel and Max are coming over for a play date. Also, my friend Haley, my neighbor, she's going to bring Riley. Jimmy's going to want to show off his fish tank and show off his fishes. And I can't be having a floater in the fish tank. And I need to protect my child's innocence at all cost here. So here it is, 9:00. I'm scrambling, getting the house ready for the play date, and I look at Bart, and I'm like, Petco opens at 10. I'm leaving now. I'm going to go get Dinosaur 2.0. I'll be right back, okay?
Look for the same color fish.
Yes. I needed that stripy fish. So I go to the Petco over off Roswell Road. I go in, I see Oliver, and I'm like, Oliver helped me last time. I'm like, yo, what's up, Ollie? I need to get a fish. We lost one. Let's do this. Because I'm on a time crunch, baby.
So warranty on these fish?
After 2 weeks, yeah.
It's like no time.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah. Keep your receipt, because if 2 weeks one of them goes, you can get a replacement, okay? So we're over there, and I'm looking. There's no Dinosaur 2.0.
Oh, no. He was so unique.
There was no, they had sold the last one, this tiger barb that's got the stripe, right? So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, son of a biscuit, there is no Dinosaur. So I explained to Oliver what's going on here. I go, listen, I got a 3, almost 4-year-old. He goes, I helped you at Christmas, didn't I? I'm like, yes, you did, Ollie. Let's figure this out. So what I did, and come to find out, tiger barbs are little D words. They're a-holes. If you put them with the glow tetras, which are the other fish I have, they will nip at them and go after them. Oh. So sure enough, Bart and I weren't crazy.
How come Ollie didn't tell you that in the beginning?
I don't know, but here we are. So anyway.
Ollie, come on, bro.
So we're trying to get a fish.
You had one job.
So I'm like, here's the deal. I'm like, Oliver, I'm going to tell my son, oh my God, we woke up and Dinosaur lost his stripes. He must be getting older. And when some fish get older, they lose their stripes.
Okay.
Just kicking that can down the road. Okay.
So I got a fish that was the similar color, but no stripes.
Yeah.
Glow tetra, so they're all going to coexist well. I get home, I stuff it. I was wearing this sweatshirt. I stuff it into my where you put your arms in your sweatshirt, right? Like the pocket in the front. I stuff the fish in there. I smuggle the fish in. I get it upstairs, get it acclimated to the water. I put Dinosaur 2.0 in, and then it's time for Cassie and her kids to come up and see the fish tank and see. And I'm like, please let him believe that Dinosaur lost his stripes.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the fish tank and looking, and Jimmy's like, "Aw, what happened to Dinosaur?" And I'm like, "Honey, Dinosaur woke up this morning and he didn't have any more stripes." "Aw, but I liked his stripes." I know, Bubba, I know. But sometimes that just happens. When fishies get older, they lose their stripes. And that was the end of it.
Okay. That does feel like a mommy win for right now.
It was.
However,
yes,
it's very temporary. At some point or another, you can't let that go to college thinking that when fish grow up, they lose their stripes or he's going to look like a fool in front of somebody.
No, he's going to believe this for the rest of his life.
I think the government pretty much proved to us over the course of the last weekend they could pretty much do whatever they want. When it comes to TikTok, right? There was no real smoking gun tying TikTok into the Chinese government. Yeah, there were some specs there, but was there enough to turn away the entire app? Well, they did it. They did it for 14 hours. And then Donald Trump came in, saved the day, brought that thing back and said, "Don't worry about it, younger generation. Even though I'm the one that caused this problem, I got you. I got you," right? So we are past that. And I was thinking this weekend, look, maybe the government should start just poking around on other businesses also to make them better or cancel them if they don't use the strength of the American government. Let me give you guys some examples. And I asked you guys to come in some also. Most of these I have talked about before. The government is going to get involved. I think they should go straight to Chick-fil-A and straight to Crumble and say, you got to be open on Sunday. Jesus would want that. And
is that so?
Jesus would want that. He wants us to be happy. This is what I learned.
Oh, okay.
I had that one too. I feel you on that one.
And he is kind, right? And for those that say, hey, we need a day of rest in this country, this is America. No rest. Okay, this is the United States of America. It's a bad, bad reason. I've talked about this one before also. Government. Will you just contact Target and do something about the monitors right by the self-checkout?
That is not. Put a filter on this.
Do we all have the same gripes here,
I have Target on my list too, but not for that reason.
I said filters on the Target self-checkout cameras. It doesn't have to be the one with like the puppy dog face or like the crown, the flower crown. I just need a little smoothing action.
The TikTok beauty filter?
Yes. Yeah, any filter at all.
That would suffice.
See, with TikTok, we were all curious about it because we couldn't see the evidence, so they were telling us, just trust us, it's there. With Target and the monitors, we would all sign on for that because we could see it every single day. Like, shut Target down. Okay? The next one, although this is not as much a problem now as it was last year because now McDonald's can change their McFlurries and they can fix the McFlurries. So there's no excuse. If you go to a McDonald's and a McFlurry is down, they should cancel it. Cancel that
on my list too.
You did?
Yes. If the ice cream machine don't work, the employee shouldn't be working either.
So we all have the same gripes to some of these companies that are going on in the country. And I've said this one for 20 years. The U.S. should immediately ban wicker in this country so Pier 1s go right out the window.
I think they already have.
Have they? Are they done?
I don't. All right. I don't know.
Those are the ones I feel like America should be attacking, not TikTok.
Got it. It wasn't a serious one. No, it was a serious one, and then I was going to move on. But I'm trying to like contain my rage, and I'm in a place.
Your rage over what?
So I'm just going to put it in my back pocket. So for any appointment you show up for, doctor, dentist, beauty appointment, for every minute they are late, you get $1.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like that.
Right? So it doesn't matter what kind of if you make an appointment and you are showing up to see them at 10:15, at 10:16, you get $1.
So can I tell you guys a really quick story? I got busted by a cardiologist a couple of weeks ago sneaking out of the office. I was waiting so long. They had moved me from the lobby into the examination room. And I was waiting so long. I'm like, this is just taking too long. I'll reschedule. And I'm starting to work my way down the hall when the cardiologist comes out of his office and is like, I got time for you now. And I felt so busted. So incredibly busted.
Why did you feel busted?
Because I was leaving.
So?
And then, and you're supposed to stay.
Got caught. You felt like you got caught.
I did. I felt like I got caught.
Yeah, he should feel bad. Like that. I love when doctors apologize for the wait because I'm like, at least you are aware, that I've been waiting forever.
I felt like I got, like it was Shawshank and I got caught trying to escape.
All right. Oh, I got one. So Instacart, you may not have male shoppers. Is it sexist? Absolutely. Do they try and substitute tampons with marshmallows? Absolutely.
Damn. Is that true?
Oh my God. Go on TikTok.
It's a running joke on
Reddit.
Yeah.
People will say the things that male Instacart shoppers have substituted. Or they'll be like, hey, I want Neapolitan ice cream from Mayfield. And they'll go and take a picture of the freezer and it's like 3 rows of Mayfield Neapolitan ice cream. They'll be like, there's none there. Do you want something else? And everyone's like, it's right in front of you. No more male shoppers from Instacart.
I had the Target one. I had the McDonald's one as well. I also feel like McDonald's need to extend their breakfast time on the weekends because 10:30 is entirely too early, bro.
That's a good call.
Yes, you should extend that. This caused me to have a cheat day that I didn't ask for every Friday for 2 years, and I think it's a really nice gesture. But Planet Fitness needs to stop giving away free pizza on Fridays.
Are they still doing that?
I think so.
Are they really?
It's the hardest thing to walk out the gym past 30 boxes of pizza that smells so good. And I don't get the point of that. It defeats the purpose.
And I personally, not professionally, endorse going to a Planet Fitness because it is so cheap and it's got just the basic stuff. But when they were hooking you up with donuts and pizza on the way out.
It's called moderation. Like you can still you can have pizza and work out.
Nah, but fresh off your workout, walking out with 3 slices of pizza.
A little protein would be good.
Exactly. Give a protein shake away.
It's a pepperoni pizza. Does that not count?
Okay, I also have one for Target, but it has nothing to do with the monitor and everything to do with the scanner. I think if Target needs some kind of technology that can tell if you have more than 3 impulse items, you get kicked out. They instantly boost you out of the store because I walk into Target and I leave with 15 things that I didn't ask for.
Yes.
For concerts, if the gender ratio is off by more than 25%, so if it's like a Taylor Swift concert and it's like 80% women and 20% men, I think all of the bathrooms should become gender neutral.
They do that.
Not the ones I went to.
Really? Because I went to, I'm trying to remember if it was a Backstreet Boys concert. No, it might have been the New Kids on the Block concert. They turned all the male bathrooms into they were all women bathrooms.
Yeah, because there were 6 dudes there.
Exactly.
And they were all on stage.
There's 5 in the group. Thank you very much. And for dating apps, I think if somebody has been reported on the app, I think that should go on their permanent record so you know if you're swiping right or left on somebody who was reported for something shady.
Way more valid than going after TikTok.
She's either being incredibly harsh or incredibly accurate. Or maybe this is an instance where 2 things can exist at the same time. So, House Full of Buffalo Boys on TikTok posted her thoughts on women dating men who have children from a previous relationship. Okay? And he doesn't have full-time custody of those kids. All right? This was her thoughts.
So if you're thinking of dating a guy with kids who's not living with his kids, I'm going to throw this out there for you. Before you believe his sob story of how she's crazy and he's the victim, there's someone who is a single mom because of him. And she's either a single mom not by choice, or because she decided that the work, the stress, the financial strain, the poverty, and the social stigma of single motherhood was easier and healthier for her and the kids than living with him.
That's painting with a pretty broad stroke right there. Because you really just don't know what the situation is. I understand where she's coming from, because that is a very difficult decision to make for both parties. And it sounds like she had to make that decision knowing how difficult her life was going to be. But man, to apply that to everybody is really unfair.
I agree. I think it's unfair. I do think it's something you need to look at when you're dating somebody who has kids, like the circumstances and what's going on there. I think it's important for you to know the ins and outs. Because if you're going to date somebody who has children with somebody else, you're going to be a part of that children's, those kids' lives. You're also going to be a part of their other parent's life because co-parenting is so key and so important. So I think taking those factors in is important. And I mean, it depends on your vantage point. It depends on your perspective. It depends on your life experience and what you've experienced. And like, I heard that, and I think it's yes, and I think it's harsh. And for some, it is unfortunately accurate, because I have a friend who is going through this right now, as far as like her ex-husband sees the kids once a month and sees them 1 week in a month. So for any woman that dates him, that would be a red flag.
You just,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's projecting, the person who's speaking in this video is just projecting her own experiences, because I don't think in every case where two parents split up, it's because one or the other was like, I don't want to be with you anymore, so therefore I'm going to make you a single parent. Most of the cases I have seen, it's just, irreconcilable differences, and they can't get along, or they shouldn't have been together in the first place for whatever reason, and, they co-parent. But I think, I think there's definitely a lot of situations where women have been left to take the brunt of the child rearing because of biology and social norms and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it feels a little bit too much of a generalization for me to just be like, yeah, she's totally right.
Yeah.
I agree. Way too much of a generalization. It's unique to her situation, so I don't think it's harsh if it's true. If that's your truth, that's your truth. But that certainly doesn't apply to everyone.
All right, more opinions here. Is there ever any time that another man should tell somebody's girlfriend that she's pretty? Ever? Mo's got the email.
My girlfriend and I are split to whether this dude disrespected me. I'm 28 and I've been doing a poker night with my boys since we were 18. I know most of these guys really well. Every now and then someone will bring a friend if another dude can't make it, and that's what happened that night. There was one dude I literally just met that night. Everything was going great. A lot of trash talking, beers flowing, and I was up. So at the end of the night, my girlfriend came by to pick me up. She's super cool with the group, doesn't usually come inside, but this time she needed to use the bathroom. Anyway, as we were about to leave, that one guy I didn't know looks at her and says, "You look very pretty." Now, I know that sounds harmless on the surface, but me, it's just not something you say to another guy's girlfriend, especially when he's standing right there. I felt like it was disrespectful. Like maybe he was testing boundaries or trying to get under my skin. My girlfriend and I talked about it on the way home, and she just didn't get it. I'm seriously considering bringing it up if he comes back to a poker night. What do you think? Is this a harmless compliment, or did he cross a line? Should I let it go, or would I be justified in pulling him aside and saying something?
Is that a thing that guys do? Like try to test each other's boundaries and put these little digs out there to see how far they can get away with something?
I'm too short for that. I'm too small, too short for. I'm not testing anybody.
So, okay, let's put you in the position. So, Mo, you're at this poker night. Bert, you're at this poker night.
Yeah.
Mo, your lady comes in, and a dude that you don't. It's not one of your boys. It's not a friend. It's not even an acquaintance. It's somebody brought this guy. You just met him that night.
But this guy knows that Mo is with his girlfriend?
Yes. She's coming in to.
The key.
Yeah, she's coming in to get you. You guys are you're leaving together, and he tells her, "Hey, you look very pretty."
Mm-hmm.
That's a violation.
That's
an absolute violation.
Disrespectful.
Really?
Yep. Absolutely.
What if he's just complimenting her?
Nah.
No, keep that to yourself.
Right. Especially if he knows.
We know she pretty.
Yeah.
we know.
If she's there with another man, he's doing that. That's calculated move.
Shouldn't you be secure enough that another man can compliment your woman?
It's not a security thing.
No?
It's a disrespect thing. I think a
Really?
lot of the time the line gets blurred between what's insecurity and what's disrespect. Now, if I don't know him and he doesn't know we're together and he's just complimenting her, that's A-okay. That's all good. But if you know that's my girlfriend, and I'm standing right there, and you can even throw the compliment to me, like, yeah, you're a lucky dude.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm all good. But to say to her, you're very pretty, and in front of me, yeah, you're trying me.
I don't even like that. You're a lucky dude. You don't know. you don't know how lucky she is.
That's fair too.
Right.
Why is your girlfriend getting a compliment disrespectful to you, or why does she have to be cut out?
If she's by herself, if she's at a bar, she's by herself. But if a dude knows you're with her and a guy specifically comes up and says she's pretty, he's doing it because he's trying to insult the man.
Then you better be better enough for her not to leave you over it.
Nah, it's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
now I'm trying. So now I'm gonna say like, okay, so Cassie, you and I were at a book club or whatever, and Bart comes to pick me up, Chad comes to pick me up, and a woman there that I do not know. And she knows that is my husband and says something like, "Oh my, you look very handsome this evening." Yeah, I'm going to feel a sort of way about it. And I don't know why.
I love it. I get props. I was at a bar once with a woman. This was like 15 years ago, so not recently, but she saw my husband across the bar and was like, I'm going to go talk to that guy. And I'm like, oh my God, he's so hot. You totally should. And then I went and told my husband, I was like, that woman over there thinks you're hot. It is a point of pride for me.
She didn't know it was your husband.
Yeah,
It's a whole
fair.
different thing.
But even if she does, like, I don't care. He's not leaving me.
Totally different situation.
Totally different.
I don't own him. He's not my object. Let him have the love.
Nope, keep it to yourself.
The Bert Show.